Good evening and welcome to KUMB TV's Eyes Up Mother Brown. We are back for another West Ham United first team clash. And this time it's the last 16 of the Carabao Cup. West Ham United facing Arsenal at the London Olympic Stadium with a place in the quarterfinals, the last 8 up for grabs. Can the Hammers turn around their recent run of poor form to beat the very much in-form Arsenal? They've made several changes tonight, the Gunners, one of which includes the omission of former Hammer Declan Rice. Declan Rice on the bench this evening. And David Moyes, conversely, has done pretty much a very strong squad for this afternoon's, or this evening's game, should I say. And we'll be able to see that in just a second. There we go. There it is. How you doing, everybody? You can see there's West Ham's team right behind me. As you can see, a fairly strong squad named by David Moyes this evening. And Kudus, Mo Kudus, of course, back in again. Bowen also starting, Paquetá and Alvarez in the squad, as we expected they might be, given that they were both suspended for this weekend's trip to Brentford. I'm just about to be joined by Noam very, very shortly. There he is, just coming up on the screen now. So there was two of us this evening to take you through this journey in West Ham's latest cup encounter against the Arse. We've had a few of those over the year, Noam, haven't we? West Ham v Arsenal, it's become a bit of a cup fixture. What sort of stands out for you, buddy, in amongst all those? Obvious one, I suppose, being 1980, but any others?
1980, 1975, actually. Seen lots of photographs of that over the last couple of days. Picture of Frank Lampard looking like Swamp Thing or something. It was, Spot the Blade of Grass, I think, was the game that quarter-final. That was the first of the 6 goals or first 2 of the 6 goals that Alan Taylor scored that season.
Indeed, it was. And also, West Ham playing in the all-white kit.
Yeah,
in the mud.
I really felt sorry for the laundry people that day.
Can you imagine having to deal with that? It was a quagmire. I think the word is often used for the wrong things, but it certainly was a quagmire that day, wasn't it? Over at Highbury.
I mean, as a player, it was the sort of player I used to love playing on pitches like that.
Yeah.
Give me those that rather than excuse me, rock hard ones any day. There's a club based in Barnet that we used to play quite a lot, and back in the day, a terrific guys to play against. It was always a good evening afterwards in the bar. Old Stationers, and they played just along from Underhill, Barnet's ground.
Yeah,
and it was either like that Arsenal ground, or it looked like the dark side of the moon with all the craters when it had dried out. So, it was
that's kind of, it's funny you mentioned that, actually, because the one and only time I went to Underhill was to watch West Ham play Barnet in a pre-season friendly. It must have been about 1997-98. Just so happened that Arsene Wenger was at that game. I think Arsenal might have used it as their reserve ground at the time. Possibly.
We're underway here, by the way, just in case anyone bothered with our
we're not on my screen
because reminiscing.
As usual, I'm somewhat behind, but
okay.
Yeah, the game.
Well, I'll give you a time check, and then you can sort out the. We are now 27, 28, 29, 30 seconds into the game.
I've just kicked off, so I'm exactly 30 seconds behind you tonight. So
okay,
so than usual.
Yeah, we've reverted to kicking left to right as the camera looks at it, which was something else that was wrong on Sunday. Just another thing that just didn't look right.
That's a very good point, actually. I didn't notice that at the time, but yeah, you're right.
Well, I had all sorts of planes, trains, and automobiles type transport issues getting there, and so I came in half an hour gone, got to my seat, and I thought, "Oh, I'm not that late, am
I?" We are, of course, as we said, it's the last 16 of the Carabao Cup tonight. But ties were also played last night. And we were, for those of you who haven't seen the results, just run through those quickly. Mansfield beaten 1-0 at home by Port Vale. Exeter City 2, Middlesbrough 3. Exeter did, of course, lead that one. And then, of course, the rest are being played this evening. Chelsea take on Blackburn. Bournemouth host Liverpool. Everton face Burnley. Manchester United, Newcastle. Ipswich facing Fulham. So, dare I say it? No, dare I say it? But win this one tonight, and this competition could open up.
Yeah, all depends on the draw, of course. Yeah, you'll end up with sort of Port Vale playing. If Ipswich get through, for example, then both of those teams will be looking at semi-final places while we get drawn away at Man United or Liverpool. It's usually Man United away, isn't it, in the League Cup?
Are you suggesting that the draw for the Carabao Cup might be a slightly dodgy by
No,
chance?
no,
Surely not.
No, I'm not suggesting it's bent at all, but it's just we always get Man United away.
Right.
That seems to be the thing. So not much happening, by the way, as you can tell by two old gits sort of rambling away for nothing. But do you want me to go for the teams? That'd be a little bit more useful to our viewer.
Why not? Yeah.
Wouldn't it?
That'd be great.
So we start as follows. We've got Fabianski in goal. Then across the back we have Soufal, Mavropanos, Aguerd and Emerson. So I'm just going to break off now. Arsenal going down the left, get a ball into the box, but it's easily cleared. And we can go back to not much happening. Sorry, where I got? I got as far as Emerson, hadn't I? Then we have and it's going to be interesting to see exactly how this lot line up. But we have Soucek, Alvarez, who will obviously be in the midfield. Then we have Kudus, Benrahma, Paquetá, and Bowen. Now, most sort of listings show Bowen as playing as the striker up top, but we're wondering where Kudus is going to sort of end up. Looking at the moment, he is playing deeper. He's in his own half, and Bowen is the striker. But on the bench we've got Cresswell, Ward-Prowse, Fornals, Antonio, Cornet, Ings, Ogbonna, Areola, and Kera. And the visitors line up as follows: Ramsdale, White, Kiwior, Gabriel, Zinchenko, Fabio Vieira, Jorginho, Havertz, Nelson, Nketiah, and Trossard. Oh, as the ball's played into the box, and it's just a little bit too heavy from Paquetá towards Bowen. But it's a nice little bit of build up there. Paquetá getting away, and it's drifts inside a bit, and he just puts a little bit too much. Holds his head. He realises that was a good opportunity there, I think. But yeah, just played out in for a goal kick, but Bowen didn't have any chance of getting that. So
it's good brave down the right hand side. Paquetá, just a bit too heavy, wasn't it? Really, but interesting. Good run from Bowen. Be interesting to see what he's like in the centre with Kudus on the playing that wider role tonight.
Yeah, the thing we got today is that with Antonio on the bench, Bowen is starting there. Now, whenever we've seen Bowen, just a ball played in, and I think they were waiting for Fabianski to come out and claim, and he stayed at home. So again, that's actually turn and clear it long and out for a throw in. But he was definitely looking for Fabianski to come there. Fabianski wasn't interested. Bowen starts in that position. Now, whenever we normally see him move in the middle, it's normally when Antonio's coming off in the second half, and they swap things about. So, which it's difficult then, or Arsenal in the box. That's a fine tackle there by Mavropanos, who's been caught there a little bit as well. So, I don't know if that's going to be a free kick. It ought to be, I think. There's a nice little move down the Arsenal right there.
I should take a moment to say hello and welcome to our guests joining us live on the stream, the likes of Hobo, Ian Scattergood, Bob Claret, Andy Welsh, Craven, Dan, and everyone else who's joining us live on the stream tonight. Get your predictions in. You're right. It's still 0-0 at the moment. Craven predictably going for a defeat, 3-1 to Arsenal. Stevie Palmer going for a 2-1 defeat. Who's going to be first to suggest a West Ham win? I might be actually quite fancy it tonight. I know you. How you feeling about this?
Actually, due to various other commitments and all that, poor old Percy wasn't able to complete a preview for this, but I have it on good authority. He was going 2-1 to us just for the hell of it. And funny enough, my beloved sent me a message about 5 minutes before kickoff there, asking me what Percy would have said, and I took a few minutes to get back to her because I was getting ready to set this up. And when I got back and told her 2-1, she says, "Oh, well, since you didn't answer, I went for my own prediction, which, as it happens, was the same." So there's three of us going 2-1
there. Still waiting for our first effort on goal. Arsenal probably on top in terms of the way the play's gone so far. West Ham sitting deep and trying to spring on the counter as you would expect. No, do you expect David Moyes to play this one any differently? It's a one-off tie. Of course, we have got some history with Moyes and Arsenal. I think it was his first ever cup game as West Ham boss. We went to Arsenal, didn't we, in the quarterfinals? I think it was. We were absolutely horrendous. I think we had a shot on goal that night. Lost 1-0, I think it was.
I'm just watching Alvarez there, sorry, getting caught in possession and giving away a foul, trying to get it back, which will be no surprise to yourself. And well, this is a dangerous free kick. It's just about, it would be a yard inside the box if it weren't out by the touchline, let's put it that way. From the left, it's played in now, and that's all. There's a little flick on. I'm not sure it was from the Arsenal attack there, but Fabianski tipping the bar over. That's sorry, just seen that was Havertz. Yeah, a little back header, and Fabianski was had it covered. Good save, but one you'd expect him to make. I think is the accepted cliche for that situation.
Still Arsenal 0. West Ham United 0. Arsenal 0. It's the first effort of the game going to Arsenal there, just on the ninth, the end of the 8th minute. Fabianski tipping it over, as Noam says.
Yeah, the in-swinging corner has been cleared by Souček, and Ben Rama, well, got nudged off the ball there, but Simon Hooper, who's already displayed a number of occasions this season, you wouldn't trust him to sit the right way up on the toilet seat, for example. But he told Ben Rama to get up. But I thought there was a little nudge there. So Arsenal now beginning to sort of just show a little bit of pressure, as you probably might expect. But that comes to naught, and Ben Rama will try and get this away again, but it's gone out for an Arsenal throw. Ben Rama claiming it was a West Ham throw. I don't think that was.
Good evenings also to Alfs, to David O'Rourke, and to Andy. Hope you're all doing well, guys. Good to see you on the stream. As I said, if you get a chance, throw in a prediction. Why not? It's 0-0 still. There's plenty of time to go. Don't forget, of course, tonight's game is only 90 minutes. If it's level after regulation time, we go straight into a penalty shootout, which, of course, we had a bit of joy with a couple of years ago when we played Man City at this stage.
First team to beat them for about 5 years, weren't we? Or something?
Indeed, we were.
I don't think it was 5 years. It was 5 years seemed to be a figure going through my head, but I'm sure somebody will correct me if I'm wrong, which I probably am. Can I just say this Arsenal kit is disgusting? I mean, you can just see. No. So I just thought we were on a break there, and Hooper's pulled it back for what wasn't a foul.
Got to say, I've never been a fan of those Stabilo pen kits, as I call them. I think Chelsea had one very similar, didn't they? A couple of years ago.
Yeah,
it is, isn't it? Awful, horrible kits.
I mean, you could just imagine they're manufactured Adidas, isn't it? You can just imagine somebody having a few jars over in Adidas HQ in Germany and thinking, well, we have a few jars. We get the old highlighter pen out, and how about this? And they look at each other. They'll never fall for it. And Klaus will say, 20 euros says they will. So they put it together, and somebody at Arsenal says, yeah, that's lovely. And and we end up with that.
Um, yeah, it's I just wonder if there's something in these kits. Remember the grey kit Man United wore all those years ago at Southampton? They blamed it on
Southampton, they
that
changed at
defeat.
half time.
Never wore it again, did they? This is the
Yeah.
complete opposite. I wonder if there's anything in there, whether the manufacturers or they or the team, the club think they might be easy to see the players. I don't know, but anyway, it's
No.
certainly the diametrically opposed to that grey kit that we saw that day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Still 0-0 anyway. In case you're wondering, 11 minutes gone. West Ham still waiting for our first chance. Arsenal one shot or one effort, a goal so far. Free kick from the left was headed on. Fabianski managing to tip it over the bar after 8 minutes. Good evening to Mark Pearce. I hope you're doing well, buddy. Good to have you on the stream and everyone else who's joined us recently. Declan Rice in the stadium tonight. No, do you expect to see him come on a bit later?
Yeah. I'm not very good at second guessing Arsenal managers, I'm afraid. Wish him no harm, sort of thing, and etc. I feel a little. I still, and this is going to sound a bit sarky, but I don't mean it to be. I still feel a bit sorry for him. I just think he's sold himself short. Maybe at the expense of not having to move house or move very far if at all.
Yeah.
Manchester City had a sniff and decided they didn't want to get into a bidding war, but that was kind of just a warning shot across the bows. I think they'll be off there at some stage, sooner or later, and he'll go there, and the only medal he'll have in his trunk is the Europa Conference League from last year. And before any Arsenal people jump in, no, the Charity Shield doesn't really count.
We don't know Craven. Craven asking if number 41 got a good reception. Well, of course he's on the bench tonight, so we don't know. But David Moyes certainly gave him a good reception. There's a video that I've just retweeted on the KUMB.com Twitter channel showing the two embracing. Moyes is very, very happy to see him. Of course, why wouldn't he be? I mean, what a job they did together last year.
13 minutes, 23 played. We've got a throw in down level with the penalty area. Soufal will sling it in fairly long. Reaches just about a penalty shot. Spot didn't quite fall for Ben Rama there, who was in a good place to get shot in. But I think Emerson's now giving it away in promising position. Arsenal on the break. Ben Rama's doing a lot of running back and actually gets a good tackle in. That's well played by Ben Rama because Emerson had sold his teammates short there by losing it well up the pitch. And Ben Rama ran a hell of a long way to win that back. So, sorry, Pinky, the man done well there.
Yeah, almost a chance for Ben Rama. Didn't quite fall.
No.
Unfortunately, the defender managed to, White, of course, managed to get a touch on it and deny West Ham that first shot of the game, which we're still waiting for. But what do you make of the opening 13, 14 minutes? It's difficult to say, really. There's not an awful lot happened, but what are you thinking?
I guess it's kind of much as we might have expected. The Arsenal, when the stat comes up, you may see it depending on your stream or what you're watching. Arsenal will have had a lot more of the possession, but proper chances, very much at a premium at either end. There was just the one from the free kick earlier on, but having said that, we're settling into a bit of possession. Having said that, I was going to say we gave it away, but a little chip ball, straight ball into the box. Kudos was in there, and I think we might have won a corner. I'll just have a look at it again now. It's actually quite a good ball, it's the Arsenal number 8. Very good defensive, number 6 rather. Gabriel, very good defensive header because Kudos was in for a goal there. So, corner at West Ham. Bowen will be on taking duties. Swings it in. It's 1-0 up. Get in there. I think that might be an own goal by the looks of it. They're all rushing over to congratulate Bowen. Ramsdale's moaning at the referee now, and of course now Hooper's not quite as gullible as Atwell was at the weekend, but And it's White has nodded it past his own keeper. Let's have a look again. Yeah, it's very much an own goal. Now it's whether or not Souček does have a tug at Ramsdale's shirt. Oh, I mean, he's got a good handful of the shirt, sort of thing. I mean, that probably wouldn't have affected it, given that White was never going to get the ball. But let's hope that they look kindly on it. White is certainly hoping so. Oh, we've restarted, so it's definitely a goal.
Awesome.
Well,
what I would love to engage with you and tell you what a great goal it was, but unfortunately my stream's gone. When are you timing the goal, Letno? What are we looking at minutes wise?
About 15 something.
15.
Sorry, Arsenal.
Okay.
Arsenal trying. We're 17:04 in now.
Okay.
Ball played in, and basically there's a bit of hesitation, but both Soufal and again, Havertz, yeah, both hesitated, and Fabianski sort of took charge and collected the ball. Well, I think Souček's a little bit lucky to get away with that, because although it had absolutely no bearing on the scoring of the goal, because Ramsdale was never getting anywhere near that.
Yeah.
He did take a chunk of the keeper's shirt, and since you can't even look at a goalkeeper in a funny way these days, to actually pull his shirt, it's now Arsenal on the attack here. Don't quite get the shot in though, and West Ham being quite resilient, and Bowen's come all the way back to do, and he's drawn the foul. Good play from Bowen there. Stupid play from Arsenal, fouling him when there's no need, but it just takes off a little bit of the pressure that Arsenal have had in the last couple of minutes. So, but brilliantly taken by White. Not there, thank you for saying so. But yeah, well, can't complain about that.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. I have no stream, so I'm completely dependent on you, for updates. I did see a message with my provider tonight saying that due to the data center in the US deciding to update all their hardware this evening, it's quite possible that our service could drop between anytime between 7 p.m. and 2 a.m. Sod's law, it looks like it's kicked in now. So I'm desperately scrabbling for a dodgy stream elsewhere right now. So I shall leave you in control of the airwaves, as it were, for the next few minutes. Yes.
So anyway, just had a little bit of a stoppage as aliens invaded from the planet Zob there, but they realised they weren't at home and have gone over to Tottenham, so where nobody will notice they're there. But Arsenal, as it was really before the goal, a lot of possession. The minute or so after the goal, they were attacking sort of quite strongly, and it had a bit of momentum, but it was that good work from Bowen coming back to rescue the ball, then shielding it, and then now, good cut out there from Mavropanos. That could have seen Arsenal through. They're trying to play it now between the lines. That's going to go out for a goal kick. That's well defended. Havertz. The ball was played sort of outside Soufal towards the goal line. Havertz got a touch on it, but just basically took it out. So yeah. So yeah, it's looking okay at the moment. We've stuck at them a little bit, and done what we've not done in recent matches, and created a chance, and I say taking it, sort of.
Right. Looks like
Arsenal sort of pressing quite high up, and now can Bowen get on the end of this? Not quite. Some good defending, but yeah, I think Bowen did foul there. Jorginho turned Bowen, and now whilst Bowen fouled, Gert's just been given a foul against him, and it wasn't. He just took the ball. Our referees are really something else, aren't they? Yeah.
You're not a
I have to
fan?
say, Atwell's performance on Sunday was
Oh,
just, I mean,
awful, awful.
it was. It wasn't sort of just like big decisions or anything like that. It was just he was just woeful all the way through.
Yeah.
As you can imagine, Percy's got a bit to say about that in his next thing. Now, West Ham moving forward. Oh, just another case of Paquetá and Bowen not quite being on the same wavelength. A nice little ball played into the box. Bowen didn't read it, and the defender came across the cover. And Arsenal can now attack again. What have we got? 21 minutes, just come up to 22 minutes played, and still 1-0 West Ham.
No complaints, no complaints. Great start for the Hammers.
Sign that guy White up as a striker.
Lovely finish, son. Lovely finish.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to find
dyed
out
his hair to match his name.
Yes. How are we? How are we finding Mavropanos' performance so far? I've got to say, as I may have mentioned before, I've been slightly concerned when I've seen him. He's looked a little bit.
He's put in from memory. He's put in one very good interception, which would have had us in trouble had it gone through. But
yeah,
for all their possession, it's not really been tested. And then Alvarez is doing his nut because every time an Arsenal player goes down, he gets a free kick. And he's basically the Arsenal player has wrapped his leg around Alvarez, fallen over it, and then got the free kick. So I'm actually going to start writing to our referees and start asking them for bank details, because they are gullible, aren't they? I mean, it's an Arsenal player; it must be a foul, something. So free kick, about 24, 25 yards out, slightly right. So West Ham players all lined up in a line. Arsenal players either side. Ball played in. White gets the header on, but Fabianski wasn't taking any chances. Tips away for a corner. Not sure it was dropping in, but let's have a look. Yeah, it just made sure. It was, I think, better safe than sorry. See it better from this angle. White obviously on a mission to make amends. Yeah, I think I might have just dropped wide, but as I say, Fabianski was wise not to take the chance, I'd say. Corner to Arsenal on their left, their right. Bit of an in-swinger. Oh, free header there, but it's gone over. Need to mark a bit better than that, guys. Let's have a look again. Yeah, that's trying to see his number. I think that might have been Gabriel again. But basically ran all the way across the penalty area to get the header on that. Nobody followed him. Declan Rice is warming up on the side, and he's giving applause back to the crowd. So I'm presuming he's getting it from the crowd, and a bit of a smile on his face, obviously. Yeah.
Right, I still have no stream, so I'm a I'm a complete passenger, I'm afraid, tonight as things stand.
Appearances 245, starts 226.
Oh, we're back.
Goals 15 and trophies 1. For Tottenham supporters, trophies are things they give you when you win tournaments and leagues and things. So just to help you out there.
Right, I'm back in business. 24.50 I'm on at the moment. How far behind you am I?
25-27. Now West Ham take the ball away. Arsenal player went down and didn't get a free kick. So West Ham through Mavropanos is taking the ball forward. Mavropanos is looking a bit lost, so he's just going right away down the goal line. Tries to get across it, wins a corner. He's won fully 60, 70 yards there. Has a bit of a puff and a rueful smile on his way back. Really just kept running forward. He had nowhere to go, no real way of finding a teammate. So he just went running for the goal line, and then drew the corner. So let's see if Bowen can pick out White again this time. And Souček, keep your hands off Ramsdale's shirt. The cameras immediately focus on White, which is quite cruel. Corner in from Bowen. Well, referee's given a free kick and there's a bit of argy-bargy shoving. It was Mavropanos got a flick on and it went to the far post and there were players went up for it and Ramsdale didn't look comfy. And Souček and Ramsdale are having a bit of a debate. And the ref's also having a bit of debate. Now, let's have a look at it now again. Corner from, and it's Alvarez nods it on. It's going to the far post. Souček and Aguirre. I think Aguirre gets it. Ramsdale tries to punch it away and kind of bounces off Souček rather than Souček playing into him. And then Ramsdale, as he bounces off Souček, hits the post. And that's when the referee gave the free kick. And ending up in a bit of push and shove. But it's quite funny. Souček and Ramsdale both quite a lot taller than Hooper. And I just had in my mind the old Benny Hill thing. What was his name? Jackie something, the little bald guy.
Yeah.
You just wanted them to sort of turn around and start slapping him on the head.
Didn't see much in that. Got to say, it looked like half of one, half a dozen of one, six of the other.
Yeah,
as I say. But it's football for you. Arsenal playing some very, very, very dangerous football in their own penalty box. Not so long after that.
It's good work from Bowen there. They're just going to show this tackle again from Bowen. Oh, I think he got a
great challenge.
Yeah. I think he got caught a little bit in the back of the head by a trailing boot. Nothing deliberate, anything untoward. He was rubbing his head, but no claret there, so nothing untoward there. So
I'll say, Mr. Moyes looks particularly animated on the sidelines.
Yeah,
I'm not sure I've seen him look quite as involved at this stage of a game as he is tonight. Certainly, it looks like he wants to win this one.
Yeah, and why not? He might be a little bit cheesed off with Arsenal players. They've got a free kick now, which was, to be fair, but they are going down quite easily, shall we say?
Yeah. Are you a fan of this this relatively new concept of passing the ball short from goal kicks and fannying about in your own third? Or?
No, not really. I just think it. I mean, whatever you do, that you stand at risk of playing it out from the back. If you've got a press on, then you're inviting trouble. Play it long, of course. It's a bit of a lottery who gets on the end of it up the other end anyway. So I guess you mix it up a bit, don't you?
Yeah. It just worries me though. Not so much when someone else is doing it, but you've even seen the likes of Man City come a cropper. In these examples. So I don't know. But just quick match stats for you as we approach the half-hour mark here. Possession, Arsenal exactly 2/3 so far, 67% to West Ham's 33%. This is interesting. West Ham haven't had a single shot on goal yet this evening, even though we lead by 1-0. West Ham, no shots, none on target. Arsenal, 4 shots so far, 2 on target, both teams with 2 corners each, as I say, as we're just a few seconds away from the half-hour mark. West Ham leading by a goal.
In fact, it's the half-hour mark now. Arsenal sort of got into good position there, but we've managed to win the ball back and clear it. Kudos is getting. But I was going to say he's playing well, but that's a terrible ball across the face of goal. Arsenal get the shot away, but Kudos is probably. Got his hand up to apologise. I think the shot took a deflection. I was going to say he's getting through quite a bit of work, but that was poor. And the shot comes off. I think it's Aguirre and corner to Arsenal. Shot from Nelson. I've got an interesting theory about this playing out from the back thing, which I'll come on to in a minute if you remind me.
Good stuff.
Otherwise, I'll forget. I'll say interesting. It's a theory anyway, but But we'll stick for the corner first. Penalty. just outside the 6-yard box, and Arsenal win the header, but it's harmlessly wide, and that's Havertz again. Again, no real challenge on him. No, the theory about playing it out. I'm not sure how many years ago. It's not all that many years ago, but it's a few years ago. Still a few years ago.
Right.
When you got a goal kick, everybody had to be outside the box. And then, for no readily apparent reason, I can't see that there was a problem with it as it stood, but the powers that be, in their infinite wisdom, changed the laws of the game so that, firstly, you could have the defenders could come inside the box, and secondly, the ball didn't have to leave the penalty area from a goal kick, so you could play it. So
that's right.
And I
That's
guess
right.
I think what happened was, because you could now do that, people did, and irrespective of whether or not it was actually a worthwhile thing to do, it was, we can do it, so we're going to. So I'll come back again to that in a second, but Arsenal sort of pushing forward again. But now, well, Paquetá's left the foot in there a little bit. Certainly not enough to make the Arsenal player roll over, and the referee's way play on. But he's had a look at Paquetá. Paquetá, I think, maybe when the game stops, I think he'll at least have a word, and he may actually see yellow. Deep cross from Arsenal, and it's played back in, but the deep cross went to a player in offside position, so it's a free kick to West Ham. Do you remember the good old days when we used to sort of sit in the press room and after games, and there'd been a goal disallowed, and I can't remember who was playing, but what I do know was that David Pleat, the old curb crawler, there was doing
a curb crawler.
Yeah,
he was. Whenever I hear his name, I just think of back seats.
Yeah. So he was doing obviously some sort of commentary and all that, and he was saying that I can't see why that goal was disallowed. So I said, well, it was a goal kick and the ball didn't leave the penalty area. And they said, how long's that been a law? And I said, pretty much since they invented penalty areas, Mr. Pleat. It's always been. And I couldn't believe that somebody got that far in football without knowing that.
I'm not surprised to be fair, David Pleat, but we're just seeing a rerun there, aren't we, on the telly of Ramsdale's complaint about the goal, and I've not seen it before that, but I think he definitely had a bit of a case there. I think we might have got away with one, but I just hope it's not one of those that the referee feels he has to level up later on in the game. Time will tell. We shall see. But I think you're right. I think that was a really good observation. I think Souček was very lucky not to get pulled up for that. But who cares? Who cares? Yeah. It's Arsenal. And we're winning 1-0. And we've got just over 10 minutes to go to half-time.
Down our left. Ball played square across the area. But West Ham defending well in depth there. They're not... Again, it's a long cross played to Havertz, who... I guess it just sticks a foot out and it harmlessly bounces through to Fabianski. I'm not quite sure what Havertz was trying to do. I think he was just grateful to get something on that. But 35 minutes played, and so we just put the ball out. Emerson couldn't keep that in; it was a bit high for him.
Question for you. You. While there's nothing urgently interesting happening in the game at the moment. Craven asks, is our goal a bit of justice for that awful Ramsdale tackle on Bowen 2 years ago?
Could be.
Do you remember the tackle? Do you remember the incident he's referring to?
Yeah.
I don't. I can't remember it. That's why I didn't answer the question. I'm trying to remind me, Craven, or no, please remind me.
No, I can remember there being a tackle. I'll be honest, I can't visualise it now.
Right. Okay, Craven, you might have to remind us of the incident so we can comment. But thank you for the question. Anyway, just a couple of other quick points coming up on the live chat. Andy Welsh says it's an interesting tactic from corners by Arsenal, running in from the other side the corner is coming from. Defenders don't know where to look, hence they've had some free headers. Had you spotted that at all?
No, it's not something I've been looking for, to be honest.
There you go.
So yeah, well, was that Andy? Was it
Andy Welsh? Yeah. Thanks for that, Andy. We'll keep an eye out on that one for the rest. Of course, hoping that they don't get any more corners.
I will bump into Andy at the end of this month when a certain French band play over in. I'm not sure where they're playing now, but Great Portland Street. So, Andy, if you go to Lazuli, see you there, mate. Look me up.
Who's that? Who are you going to see?
Andy Welsh. Band called Lazuli. French, completely bonkers, superb musicians, and their party trick is at the end they pull out one of those marimbas, and they all get round it, and they do a little tune which they sort of put in bits of other tunes in, and they call it 9 arms around a marimba because one guy can't use his arm. One of the guitarists, bizarrely. A
guitarist who can't use his arm.
Well, what he's done is he's not a guitarist as such. He's invented his own musical instrument, which looks like a plank of wood.
Right.
A little bit like, hang on, ball played in. Arsenal, a good chance there, but they should have done better there, probably. Some good work down the left, but not sure who got on the end of that, but he's got this plank of wood, which it's an electronic thing, which he runs. He's got one arm in a sling. He lost use of it in a motorcycle accident years ago, and but he's got one arm in a sling, which he holds the thing with, and he runs this his hand up. It's like a touch sensitive electronic thing. Makes fantastic noise. They're well worth seeing, and it's having a clue what they're singing about, though. I mean, I can understand French when it is spoken or written. When it's sung, I haven't got a clue. And I last saw them on my birthday back in last Easter in Holland, and they're very good.
I've got to say, I thought you said Amazulu at first. I was going to say,
no.
Amazulu.
How much I was reading? We were talking about the young ones earlier on, weren't we?
see, I knew you was going to say that. I knew you were going to say that. Pinky will be furious right now.
Yeah. For the benefit of anybody who doesn't quite see our in joke. Earlier on today, when we were sort of just catching up with each other on the moderators and management forum, whatever you want to call it, the subject of the young ones came up, and now Bowen's been clattered into right at the back of his head, and that stopped a promising break because Pakatara had done a nice little flick, played it up towards Bowen, and I'm not sure that is Kirio or whatever his name is, especially just went through the back of Bowen's head with the arm, flattened him. Referee has a word. I'd say that stopped a promising attack and might be worth a yellow. Referee disagrees, but then it's Hooper, so what does he know?
It's a naughty one. Just something interesting. I don't know if you spotted this just before that incident took place. There was Mikel Arteta, the Arsenal manager, was doing his usual thing of prowling along the touchline. Fourth official just went over to him and had a word, told him to stay in his technical area. So
they don't like
an eye on that to see how that goes.
Yeah, they don't like them moving out of the box, do they? So
no,
I guess
no, and he has a habit of doing it, doesn't he, Arteta?
Yeah,
We've seen him do it many times before. So, great band, Lazuli, says Andy Welsh. There you go. He says, "I've seen you, Chief." I don't know if you can see that, but there you go.
Yeah. But I won't be at the IQ London gig this year, but I'm seeing him the night after in Zoetermeer. So I've got a good deal this year. My hang on, I'll get back to you. Long ball played forward, and Soufal's trying to make something of it, but it will go out for a goal kick. No, our Christmas do this year. They're taking us to Paris for the day on Eurostar.
Nice.
Yeah, so we get out there and bit of sort of sightseeing. Then we got one of those cruises up and down the Seine. And then what's happening is when everybody else goes back, they'll go to the Eurostar platform at Garden Nord. I'll go to the other side, and I'm getting a train up to near Rotterdam and go and watch the next day to go and watch the gig.
Nice. Well, that saved you a few bob, won't it? If you're already halfway there.
Yeah. Well, it's just by the time we get back from Paris, I probably get into the London gig with about 5 minutes to go, or during the encore or something. So I figured, I always go to see IQ Christmas wherever possible. So I figured this year, while I've got the chance and before the harsh financial realities of saving up to get married really kick in, I'll just have one big last Christmas bash out there. So
is that right, Noman, that you're inviting everybody who goes on the live stream regularly to the wedding? Is that correct? Did I hear that somewhere?
Yes. Only if accompanied by their great grandparents, though. So I've been looking at we've been looking at places at venues. We think we may have found a particular venue. It's a pricey. It didn't cost this much last time I did it.
That was 1837, to be fair.
Yeah, not far out. 1993. But yeah,
that's yesterday, is it? 1993. That's not that long ago, surely.
Anyway, but we're looking at finances. You and Claire might have to share a drumstick, mate.
Right, no worries. Coming back to the game, I'm happy to report that we've just 2 minutes to go until half time, or at least until the end of 45 minutes. West Ham are still waiting for our first shot at goal in the game. As I said earlier, we lead by 1-0. Thanks to Ben White's stunning own goal after just 15 minutes. Probably shouldn't have counted. Probably wouldn't have counted. I'm guessing if there was other members of the VAR team present, but we both felt that West Ham was a bit lucky to get away with it.
It's the League Cup. I'm assuming. I'm no idea if VAR is actually part of the process in League Cup. I know it hasn't been in earlier rounds because of not every club's wired up for it. But that's a good point because I didn't see any VAR check.
No.
I mean, on a pure sort of pragmatic basis, the shirt pull was, if it had been disallowed for that, it would have been annoying in the extreme because it had zero effect on whether or not a goal was scored. But you can see why it might have been. But if there's no VAR, that would go a long way to explaining it.
Yeah.
So
you kind of get the feeling, had there been, that it would have been ruled out for sure, because it was a fairly clear and obvious tug. I think you're right. I'm not sure it affected the actual goal that much. I'm not sure Ramsdale would have been able to get to it anyway.
No, never got there. I think that's what the referee was saying to him when you look at it. Now West Ham win the ball as Arsenal at the period of attack. Now Bones going down the right. Just flicks it off the Arsenal player, who will probably save the corner. In fact, does better than that, plays it down the line, finds a teammate. That's a shame. It looks a bit of a promising break there. When you look at the referee talking to Ramsdale, who's moaning as is his want, he does seem to, the sort of sign language seem to suggest, that you had too many people between you and the ball anyway, which... now Arsenal try to go long, and that will just go out harmlessly for a goal kick. 2 minutes of added time. I'm just trying to see, because from the main camera angle at the Olympic there, the VAR booth, or whatever you want, station, is sort of, I'm guessing, halfway between the centre line and the penalty area. So it's not an easy, from the camera angle you can't normally see it. So I'm just trying to see every time they go down if there's if it's actually installed there. But maybe somebody's
Yeah.
got commentary on can confirm. They might have mentioned it.
Yes, I was going to say, if anyone can confirm if VAR is or isn't in operation time, do let us know, and we will assume that it isn't, because, as we say, the goal probably shouldn't have stood, or probably wouldn't have stood. I'm not sure it made that much of an impact, but here we are, extra time at the end. Well, just a few seconds to go now to the half-time whistle is blown. We're still waiting for West Ham to have a shot on or off target in the game, but the Hammers lead courtesy of that own goal from Ben White after 15 minutes. Just to sum up the first half, what have you made of it so far?
It's been quite funny, really. Arsenal, excuse me. Sorry, Arsenal have had, I think the last stat I saw, 80% of the ball. But they've had chances, they've had a couple of shots, but never really looked like scoring. And
No, there's nothing, no
yeah,
real clear-cut chances.
and it reminds me a bit of the Chelsea game. That they had quite a lot of possession and just never looked like scoring. And that's the half-time whistle anyway. And poor old Ben White, the cameras go straight on him. Not only has he got a dodgy haircut, he's got to wear that shirt as well. And they're focusing on Bowen as well, as if he's got an assist or something. Really, I mean, you wouldn't celebrate that one as your own, would you? I know sometimes people get a shot in and it gets a deflection and everyone jumps on him, but I thought it was a bit Mickey taking to go running to Bowen as if he'd done something great there, other than finding the defender. So half time, 1-1.
1-0 even, 1-0.
1-0 even. Sorry, I
think it's the we're so surprised that West Ham have kept a clean sheet. Because we haven't had many this season, have we? But anyway, there you go. That's just the one goal separating the teams at half time. The Ben White own goal after just 15 minutes, which has put West Ham ahead at the break. Will we see Declan Rice for the second half? We'll find out very soon. But some brief match stats for you before we go to the other games taking place in the Carabao Cup tonight. Possession, West Ham 31%, 32%, just changing. In the first half, leaving Arsenal with 68%, 2/3 pretty much. West Ham, no shots, not a single shot a goal in that first half, compared to Arsenal's 8, only one of which was on target. 2 corners to West Ham, 3 to Arsenal. West Ham having committed 9 fouls in the first half, Arsenal having committed 7. But West Ham, of course, as we keep saying, leading by a goal to nil, courtesy of that Ben White own goal after just 15 minutes. Now, as we also said at the top of the stream, there are several other last 16 or round of 16 Carabao Cup ties taking place tonight. 5, in fact. We have goals in 4 of those already. Chelsea lead Blackburn. Of course, it knocked West Ham out of this competition last year on penalties at the same stage. Benoit Badiashile scoring on the half-hour mark for Chelsea. Pretty much dominated that game so far, 68% possession, 9 shots to Blackburn's 2. Bournemouth are a goal behind at home to Liverpool. The only goal of the game so far coming from Cody Gakpo, again on the half-hour mark, 31 minutes. And Liverpool similarly dominating that one down there on the south coast. Everton lead Burnley by 1-0. James Tarkowski scoring the opening goal of the game there at Goodison after just 13 minutes. Pretty even affair. Burnley with 59% of possession to Everton's 41. 2 shots for Burnley, 6 for Everton so far. 2 other games, Manchester United and Newcastle, only kicked off 5 minutes ago. That's being televised, hence why that's a little bit later than the rest, so nothing to tell you about that one. But the final game so far, Ipswich Town, absolutely flying down in the lower leagues at the moment, are a goal behind to Premier League Fulham, for whom Harry Wilson has scored the opening goal of the game there at Portman Road. They have played 35 minutes and Fulham lead by 1-0. Of course, West Ham 1-0 up against Arsenal here at half-time at the London Olympic Stadium. 2 games last night. Port Vale beating Mansfield Town 1-0. And Middlesbrough coming back to beat Exeter City 3-2. So as things stand, we're looking at Port Vale, Middlesbrough, West Ham, Chelsea, Liverpool, Everton, Fulham, and Man United or Newcastle in the last 8. Now, yeah, not so many minnows in it, Noam, is it? When you look at it that way, what with Liverpool and Chelsea and Fulham currently winning this evening.
Yeah, you want to be in the right part of the draw, don't you?
Mm.
Yeah. Well, let's say not that it's got halves of draws, but you know what I mean. You need to, you'd be hoping for a favourable draw. Assume whoever you are, you get through. Was it 10:15 tonight? Yeah, it's one of those things. They say the draw's at 10:15 this evening. I'm willing to bet that the first ball doesn't come out until 22, because they always say, all right, 10:15, and you're there waiting for ages and ages, and it's never at that time. But do you remember that one time? Didn't they take it somewhere stupid in the Far East?
Yeah,
they went for a spell of trying to just mess it up, find more and unusual ways of messing it up.
Was that not the start of the slightly dodgy games? I think we had the two Manchesters were kept apart in the semi-final that year, if I remember right. But yeah, you're quite right. It was all a bit ludicrous, wasn't it? Really. And then we had when was it? Was it a couple of years ago? They redid the draw, didn't they? Do you remember that one? They had to do the draw all over again.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was now. Somebody sort of. It was either there was a ball left in the bag at the end of it, or something, or they. I may be getting different events completely mixed up, but they'd read out one team's name and it was another. And I mean that certainly happened at one occasion, and but this, it's I might have to look that up in a minute. Just League Cup draw errors.
Yeah, let's know. It'll be good.
Let's just have a look. Let's have a look. Get the old tablet out.
Yeah, we're just seeing a run of the only goal of the game there. I wish I had the commentary on, because it's been spoken about by old Big Nose himself, Alan Smith. The chart he was regularly regaled with back in the bowling days. He did have a very big nose. It's true. But Alan Smith and Emma Saunders, I've got to say, looks like Bianca Westwood tonight. Thought it was B for a minute, but
no, it's not B. No, it's
not. It's B light, as it were. Maybe a younger version, but
there's something quite recent about the draw here.
Okay,
let me just read. So, this is a couple of months ago, September. Fuming. Well, no, that's not really a mistake. No, that's just people complaining Man United getting drawn at home for 4th or 5th consecutive tie. Let's raises eyebrows after human error. So let's have a look. Let's have a look. So I'm just trying to catch up. Yeah, sing amongst themselves here. So the numbers the numbers didn't tally with the names properly because they weren't in alphabetical order or something. So that's a non-story, but there have been cock-ups. Let's have a look.
Yeah.
I'll see. Error in ball numbering. So that was back in August.
Well, while you're looking at that, Noam, a couple of comments. I like this from Epic. 0 shots, Moyes out. David O'Rourke responding. I think we're playing quite well. Don't disagree, David. We've not really been under any great pressure. Have we? Arsenal have obviously had a lot of the ball, but hasn't been translated into efforts on goal. So I kind of agree. Shall we talk about this? Go on, Noam. Go on.
Well, back in 2017. When they drew it out, there was a graphics error as they pulled that draw, and Charlton were drawn both away at Exeter City and at home to Cheltenham Town.
Right.
So basically probably the best bet would have been all three of them meet up somewhere around Reading or Swindon. And
Yeah.
so,
What was the outcome? Who did they get in the end? Does it say?
I'll just yeah, it showed and then of course when the graphics were wrong, and then the EFL chief executive compounded the error by reading Charlton's name twice out. In fact, it was Oxford United playing at Cheltenham.
Right.
And to add to confusion, another graphical error during the recap of the draw swapped Forest Green Rovers and Yeovil Town. All West Country stuff, isn't it? All that side. So that was
Scrumpy.
the So I mean, they didn't help themselves. The comment was the EFL would like to apologise for a number of third-party technical issues, not our fault, Gov.
Yeah.
That affected the
Passing the
coverage
buck neatly.
of this afternoon's. I won't say the sponsor. League Cup round one draw in Bangkok. I mean, what on earth? I mean, yes, it's the drink company had a commercial partnership with it said that I think they're Thai based or something, but let's have a look. For the record, it was the first round, so it was nobody was watching anyway.
Didn't really matter.
I mean, even if you're those clubs, you're just going to wait. You're not going to interrupt stuff for the League Cup draw because it's happening in Bangkok. You're just going to wait till you get home and look it up on the BBC, aren't you?
Indeed. Yeah, comedy of errors, really, with the Carabao Cup. I think it's all been a bit of a mess. Those draws, and as we were saying earlier, definitely some sus draws where should we say the bigger teams in the competition often seem to miraculously avoid each other in the last 8 or 4 of that particular competition. But anyway, might not matter this year because there might not be any of them left the way things are going. Man City out, Tottenham out, Arsenal losing tonight at home to West Ham. No, there's a question. Let's touch on this one that Craven has brought up, asking about Divine Mubama, who, as we learned from our friend Roshane at the Athletic on Monday, has rejected a contract offer, a new contract offer from West Ham. For the record, Mubama's contract is expiring at the end of the current season, but he rejected the offer. We don't know exactly why. However, we have had some words, haven't we, from one of our own to say that there may be a view at the club that he may not be. How do we say this? He may not be all that he's been made up to be in terms of his future ability. Some questions as to whether or not he's got the potential to become a Premier League striker. I think it might be a case. That you see quite often, don't you, at this age, where you see these young lads, 16 and 17, develop this kind of adult physique really early, and then sort of they get to their late teens, 20, 21, kind of everyone else has caught up with them a little bit. I mean, the most obvious example of that, I think, do you remember that ridiculous photo of Ross Barkley as a 13-year-old playing, and the guy marketing him, Barkley was here, and the guy marketing was about here, this high.
It's really ridiculous. All my playing career, I spent like that.
Yeah. All right. Fair point. Yeah, fair point. But I mean, what's your view on that? Do you think Mubama is a player that we should be, whether or not whatever the current view is right now in the club, he's a player that's sort of been here for 11 years now already. Do you think we should be, doing our utmost to offer him a couple more years just to see whether or not he can push through and develop into a player capable of being part of a Premier League squad?
The problem that we've got is that, it's I guess it's the kind of knee-jerk reaction you get from supporters, because he's clearly got some sort of promise, and he's scored for us, arguably twice, in matches, but all we really see of him at the moment is he comes on when we have seen he's been coming on when we got chasing a game, and he wasn't in the squad for the Everton game. He wasn't in the squad. He's not in the squad tonight. He's not even on the bench.
No.
So what do the management see that we don't? It is difficult because, perhaps us more than many clubs want to see our youngsters go through. We've got that bit more of a tradition in many cases. So I do wonder if he is in fact good enough, and on the grounds that I haven't seen enough to really make a sort of an informed judgment. But
I mean, the thing is, what we have found in recent years is that there's not many players that the club let go who've gone on to to prove a success at the highest level. And you look at players like Ngakia, Diangana, Sonny Perkins, even Harrison Ashby, who's been shipped out on loan to Swansea for the year. None of these players have sort of come back, have they? To upset. I think that the last time that happened was probably what's his name? Bournemouth Junior Stanislas.
Stanislas.
Yeah,
his mum calls him Felix. That's his real name. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, just going through those ones. Of course, the Diangana one caused quite a stir. And
Sullivan was right, wasn't he?
Well, I'm not entirely sure. I think that because what happened was pretty much as soon as he actually left for West Brom, he got injured. And he was never quite the same player after that. And he might have been a bit unlucky. That one I thought the jury was a bit out on. Right. Clearly the players were of the opinion that he was a bit useful. And I mean, Mark Noble was absolutely fuming, wasn't he?
He was, yeah. He went public on it, didn't he? That's
he
right.
Went public on it, which so when the players say that sort of thing, then you maybe wonder, but yeah, I mean the others are maybe not turned up, but then again it's different circumstances. Invariably they go to clubs where things are different for them, and their progress, they might have progressed had they stayed. And I mean, we started, by the way, and we're on the attack, so I'll cut off there because ball played at the box. Bowen. Oh, he's got the shot in. Oh, half safe from Ramsdale, and it's cleared out by White. That's our first shot, I think. And,
it is. Yeah. I was just going to say, we've got this hoodoo over us at the moment, and we have conceding goals on an all too regular basis at the start of the second half. Nearly scored one ourselves there.
Yeah. Bowen tried to dink it over Ramsdale, who actually stayed tall. Kudus was following up. White put it out for a corner. Oh, Souček gets on the end of the corner, but can't control the head, and it goes wide. So that's two shots, one on target, I guess, if you count the header there.
Fine.
I mean, but yeah, I mean, some of those players we know kind of thought the grass was going to be greener. Yeah, and they may have progressed a lot better staying put. I guess you don't. Yeah, it's one of those lovely things, isn't it? The what ifs and what might have been. It's when you see though a contract's been turned down, and then you always wonder about a young player and who's doing the advising as well. Obviously, whoever you'll want the best for your lad if it's your dad doing the advising, or if you've got an agent.
Yeah, of course.
But on the other hand, it's that's not necessarily just money. So
no, but I've got to say, it does strike me that the club have been probably a little bit more careful with the youth team players since we had the Reece Oxford episode. Where we know he was earning about 20 grand a week before he'd even made a first team appearance, which was ludicrous, really. I mean, if you're giving a 17-year-old lad £1 million a year, it's no surprise that he goes off the boil slightly, and it's an awful lot. But anyway, just very quickly, Grady Diangana played for the England under 21s. I think might have played for the under 20s as well. Made his international debut last week for the Democratic Republic of Congo, to whom he switched allegiance. Last year, played against New Zealand and Portugal. So he's gone on to do well for himself anyway. But what was it, 19 million we got for him, which I think we
Yeah,
probably got
I
the
mean, it's
better of
good
that deal
money.
in retrospect. It
Yeah,
was
in
very, very good
retrospect,
money.
it's good money. I just
Yeah.
think that there was, if he'd stayed, we'd have seen a lot more of him.
Yeah,
Lot,
no, that's
lot
fair
more
enough. That's
from
fair
him.
enough. We'll never know, will we? But in terms of Mabama, you're a keeper, are you for now?
Yeah,
Yeah,
for the time being.
yeah.
But if he's not getting in the squad for tonight, for example, so just looking at Kudos goes in shoulder to shoulder, and an Arsenal player clutches his face, and predictably, Hooper gives a free kick. I thought that was shoulder to shoulder. Trossard is still wiping his eyes, probably laughing that he's got away with it. But yeah, I mean, if Mbama's not in this squad for this, for example, you're wondering, well, why not?
Well, he wasn't playing
Um,
for the 20 for the kids last
yeah,
night, was he?
because
He
it
wasn't
wasn't.
involved
Yeah,
in that one.
because he wasn't in the age squad. So
Yeah,
if he's not in there, you think, well, he's been saved for
for
this.
tonight. Yeah. But no, maybe he's injured. Don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the score is. If anyone knows, do
Yeah.
let us know. But anyway, back to the game. We've had 4 minutes of the second half. West Ham on top so far, leading by a goal to nil. Which
We're winning the ball back quite well at the moment. We just won it just there and tried to flick it past. I think it was Vieira who stuck an arm out and played it with his arm. So hesitate to say comfortable early on in the second half, but we're looking okay. Long ball played into the box. Kudos gets on the end of it, cuts inside. Yes, what a goal! Kudos, get in, my son.
well, there you go. We were just saying what a great start it is for West Ham. It's got even better. Mo Kudus makes it 2-0 to the Hammers known.
Fantastic goal.
He does.
Yeah,
Superb
superb
goal. He's
goal.
been ruled out for a minute there.
No. Superb goal. It's a long ball played from the left-hand side. I think that might be Emerson. Kudos kills it with one touch, brings it in, second touch, inside the far corners. His first touch is kind of a trap and takes it past the player at the same time.
Yeah.
And lovely. And it's a nutmeg as well. So
it is. It's a Gerd who actually made the pass, Naif Gerd.
Yeah.
It was almost a James Collins-esque pass from back to front, a diagonal. So beloved of Sam Allardyce back in the day. All right, so it's not quite as far, it's from the halfway line, but as Noam says, it's a fantastic touch. The ball played into Kudos on the right-hand side of the penalty area, brings it down with his right foot superbly with his first touch, puts the ball onto the left, and he just fires it across goal low into the bottom left-hand corner beyond Ramsdale. And hate to say it, no, but we're looking good, 2-0 up, and there's only 40 minutes to go.
No, it's terrible.
We've been here before against Arsenal, of course, haven't we?
Terrible, right.
Yeah.
Now, Paquetá takes the ball from Benrahma, plays the ball out wide, almost finds Kudos again, but not quite. But we're looking good on the break, actually. I mean, that final ball wasn't quite right, but yes, just keep it going. 51 minutes played. 2-0 up.
Of course, the other thing is, and just a reminder that this game there is no extra time. So for Arsenal to win, they need 3 goals now, which it's all good for us. No complaints so far.
Shot across goal. I think it's that Trossard, but it's just gone straight across goal. And no Arsenal players in the 6-yard box, and it's just gone harmlessly out cross goal for a goal kick. Declan Rice seems to be putting some shin pads on, which so if we win this, they won't even be able to use the excuse that he didn't play.
All going too well at the moment. I suspect there's a lot to come. We just got a shot from Arsenal. As Noam, I think you mentioned it. No, I'm sorry, just there, fired across the left-hand side. Right across the area. There's Mikel Arteta looking particularly unhappy at the moment. Up yours, mate. Well, we don't care.
I say that was a shot from Arsenal. They've just put a stat up that says second half shots West Ham 3, Arsenal 0, and shots on target West Ham 2, Arsenal 0. So
we were clearly they were the second half. Clearly
they were counting that as an attempted pass rather than a shot.
Yeah.
Now some great play. The ball's gone down the line. Emerson's got some space down here on the left. He's looking at the box, plays the ball cross. Oh, didn't quite get a touch on it. And Paquetá does superbly well to win that ball back. West Ham putting the screw on a little bit here. Crossing from Emerson, I think it was Bowen, didn't quite get on the end of it. Arsenal managed to clear. And it's gone out now for a throw in, but they'll show this again, surely, in a second. Maybe not.
Got to say, there's some tremendous noise coming from the stands right now, as you would expect, 2-0 up against Arsenal, with Declan Rice watching on. And as Noam says, West Ham definitely in the ascendancy at the moment. Could have been 3-0 there. Great ball in from the left hand. Sorry, who was that who played that ball in? I didn't quite see who it was.
It was Emerson. There was some lovely work. Yeah, lovely work down the left hand side, and which played the 2 passes, and the third pass was played down the line where Emerson had continued the run. And sorry, Arsenal now sort of beginning to break up. I'll say something funny in a second. I was just thinking there. White pulls the ball back to the edge of the box, but it's far too behind everyone else. And Souček now plays the ball out wide to Benrahma. Paquetá keeps it in and keeps hold of the ball to take the sting out of it. Still got the ball, and it was about 3 or 4 little nibbles at him, and in the end, he just takes the last one and throws himself to the floor. Sorry, there was just a little patch there where Arsenal had the ball, and it was there was a couple of passes, and I saw somebody running back, and I just thought, you know what, Declan Rice would be running back there and would get a foot in. It was just that little flashback, but of course he's didn't matter because they lost it anyway, and we go again. Anyway, Arsenal's trying to build up from the back now. So,
I tell you what, there's some great stuff. Great work by Paquetá just there. Just managed to keep the ball in on the touchline, pulled the ball back, wasted a good 30 seconds, and then bought a free kick, basically. I think it was a free kick this time.
Yeah.
Being given a congratulatory tap on the back by his manager there. But doing all right now, aren't we? Doing all right tonight. It's good stuff.
Yeah, no, be all right tonight,
Yeah.
So, touch wood. I mean, we've still got what?
Too long.
Yeah, 25 minutes or so left. And say no extra time. Arsenal now, ball's played at the box, but that's wonderfully anticipated by Mavropanos. Comes across, steps. Kudos tries to win a throw in, but doesn't, and Arsenal can rebuild again. But that was a good interception from Mavropanos, who's a little bit out of position, but Arsenal played the ball down the line towards Trossard, who basically hasn't got a hope of keeping that in on a motorbike. Arsenal about to make some changes. I suppose it'd be a good idea if I got the team sheets up so I can tell you who's coming on or not. Lineups.
While you're doing that, I'm just sending a screenshot of the score to my daughter's boyfriend, who just happens to be an Arsenal fan. So I do apologise for.
Yeah, my sister-in-law to be is an Arsenal fan. Declan Rice is coming on. So there's a fair bit of applause from around the ground. You can see, I haven't got the volume turned up, obviously, but you can see people clapping. And sorry to see whether you look at the right team sheet. So Jorginho's off, and that's Tomiyasu and Rice are on, and see who else is off. Yeah, Zinchenko's the other one who's off. So Zinchenko and Jorginho off, Tomiyasu and Rice are on. Now, Bowen's found himself got just the other side, but couldn't take it on, and West Ham keep the ball though, and that's Paquetá tries to play in Kudos again, just a little bit too much on the ball for Kudos though, but yeah, still playing well. 33 odd minutes left, or what we got.
Plenty of time for a couple more.
Yeah, that's what worries me.
Yeah. In terms of West Ham substitutes, now what are you thinking for David Moyes? I mean, surely it's a case of leave it as it is, isn't it? For now, but
I'm
one thing in the back of his mind is bound to be that we've got to go to Brentford. In 3 days' time.
So you'd leave Emerson and Paquetá on for the 90 because neither of them can play on Saturday.
Emerson's good. Emerson's good, isn't he? I think
Emerson's
it's
good. Sorry,
Alvarez,
Alvarez.
isn't it? Yeah.
Alvarez, yeah. Sorry. Get me.
Absolutely. No, you're absolutely right. Yeah. They
So
should be
you'd
good.
leave those two on for the 90 because they've got a rest at the weekend anyway. Um, so, yeah. So just thinking of uh, Kevin Nolan's Christmas break. They haven't timed it right, have they, for that?
Yes. There's a fallacy he always maintained.
Yeah. So coincidence.
Yeah. There's been just a quick update on what's happening elsewhere. There's been a goal at Old Trafford, and it's gone to the wrong United. If you're a home fan, Newcastle's Miguel Almiron has opened the scoring in that tie after 29 minutes. Newcastle United leading Manchester United by 1-0. 32 minutes gone in that one. Here at the London Olympic Stadium, just coming up to the hour mark, just a minute or so shy of the hour mark. West Ham leading Arsenal by 2-0. The goals coming from a Ben White own goal on the quarter hour mark, and Mo Kudus scoring his third for the club, I think.
Mo's on charge now. Wins the ball, does really well. Shake off players, plays it out right. We've got Soufal out on the right wing. Cross comes in from Soufal. White just gets their head of. Oh yes, it's three. It's three.
It's so easy. It's like taking candy from a baby.
Yes. The cross from Soufal's cut out by White. It came to Bowen at the edge of the box. Who's teed it up. Now it's taken a deflection on the way through. I'm not quite sure who or whereby, but just watching it now. Let's have a look. Soufal puts the cross in. It's a good cross actually, because White's at the dive head. Yeah, it's gone past. It may have taken two little flicks there. Ramsdale's made a complete mess of it. Let's just look. Yeah, it's just flicked up and Ramsdale's made a. I mean, the deflections hurt Ramsdale there, and but the deflections made him look very silly, but it still made him look very silly. So, oh yes, half an hour to play.
Dreamland, as they say.
Yeah.
West Ham leading 3-0 against Arsenal. Declan Rice is on the pitch as well. Oh, he's going to be loving this one, isn't he? Getting hammered by the Hammers in his first game back at the London Olympic Stadium. Great stuff. And does it get a deflection off the defender's foot? It looks like he kind of
off the thigh.
Has it covered? Yeah, I think there's something there. Yeah. But it doesn't matter. Who cares? It's another goal for West Ham, and Bowen's on the score sheet yet again. 20. What have we got? 29 minutes now. I mean, shouldn't let Arsenal come back from this, should we? However good they are. Surely 3-0.
Yeah. So I was just watching a bit of the play there, but yeah. What can you say? I mean, yeah.
That's great. No, we're playing really well. I mean, that goal was another really good goal for, winning back possession in our own half. Kudus driving forward. A really good cross from Soufal. He's put some very, very good crosses, isn't he, this year? We've already seen 4 assists, I think it is, for Soufal, which is more than he got in the entirety of last season. So definitely seems to have.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I think, I mean, you mentioned him there, the work that Kudus did there, and he's done it. It's not the first time he's done that this evening, where he's won the ball and wriggled away from a little bit of danger and then sort of put us on the attack. And now he's on the ball again now. Again, lovely little couple of flicks. Plays a little bit of keepy up and keeps possession. He's got possession football from West Ham against Arsenal. Love this. You've got to love this, haven't you?
Of course, the thing is, those of us slightly longer in the tooth than perhaps some of our younger fans, this shouldn't really be a surprise, should it? Because as I wrote on the forum earlier, history's shown that West Ham are often at their most dangerous when expecting to cop a good hiding. And it's happening again, to coin a phrase.
Yeah, to coin a song, yeah. I don't know if anybody's singing it, but I sincerely hope somebody starts the chant of "He wants to come home" about Declan Rice. Yeah. So
Yeah.
same old West Ham taking the Mickey.
Yeah. Well, Arsenal have made a couple of subs already, so not too many
Well,
more changes available to Mikel Arteta. West Ham still to make a
Bowen's got
substitute.
the
No,
referee
sorry.
stopped the game. Bowen's got a lot of red stuff coming out from a cut on his eye. I don't know where he's got that from, but yeah, game quite rightly stopped there. Yeah, sorry, Danny, he might be coming home with a shiner tonight. It's not quite sure what caused that. Yeah, but Bowen wasn't sort of remonstrating about it. It's just I think the referee started to turn around and saw the blood, and
I
Arsenal
don't
were
think
getting some
Bowen even knew
substitutes.
it, did he?
Yeah,
Looking at him,
yeah.
I think he was aware.
Games resumed anyway. Arsenal preparing some more changes. Desperately chasing the game now, I suppose.
Yeah.
Still got this modern thing of players having to get changed in the racing car seats to be able to come on. Have your kit on, put a tracksuit over it, take your tracksuit off, out you go. That's what it should be. They're stripping down to vests and all that. Now they've got to put shirts on. It's like,
Is
why?
that Saka coming on? I think I can see him getting.
Yeah,
It's the glare of the yellow undershirts kind of making it difficult
yeah,
to see the face, but yeah, it looks like Saka for Arsenal. But anyway, with the news of another goal at Old Trafford, and that's more bad news for Manchester United. They now trail Newcastle by 2-0. Lewis Hall, Lewis Hall has scored a second for Newcastle on 36 minutes. So Man U in deep trouble. Elsewhere in the competition, I don't think, just quick scan through. No, still no more goals from what we said earlier. Chelsea 1, Blackburn 0, Everton 1, Burnley 0, Bournemouth 0, Liverpool 1, Ipswich 0, Fulham 1, and Manchester United 0, Newcastle
corner
2.
to Arsenal. Fabianski gets a punch and does well to get a punch. Gets it to outside the box on the right hand side. Bowen's back on, by the way. Gets a tackle in, but it's gone out for another corner on this side now. So, they've stuck a bit of Vaseline over his eye. It's still a bit red there. And the Arsenal substitutions now being made. So I think that's 19's Trossard, isn't it? Trossard's off with Martinelli coming on, and Saka's on for Nelson. So they're bringing on the big guns now, then, aren't they? Yeah,
They are indeed. They are indeed. It may be a too little too late for Arsenal. They need to find at least 3 goals in the next 24 and a bit minutes. No, this has got shades of that game at the Boleyn. What was it, 12, 13 years ago? The game in the snow, the game we often refer to as the Johnny Spector match.
Yeah. Oh.
When we beat Man U 4-0.
Yeah.
Colton Cole, I think, got 2, and Johnny Spector got 2, didn't he, that night? Were you there that night?
Spector Spector was only in the team. I think Parker was, I'm not sure he was injured or suspended. And I think I remember writing something at the time, decent enough player, Spector. I mean, he was, never let anybody down, but
no.
you never heard anybody say, "Oh, good, it's Johnny Spector." And that night, it was I think it was the 30th of November that year. It was just, I think the morning after was 1st December. And it snowed, didn't it? I mean,
didn't it? Didn't it?
Yeah.
That was the game that, of course, Colton Cole.
Steam was coming off his
in
head.
the post-match interview. That was the infamous game from which it came, of course. But absolutely smashed.
Wasn't that over chuffed as well, or was that another game?
Over chuffed. I think you could. Yeah, was it that, or was it the first? Might have been the first leg of the Birmingham.
Yeah.
Later on in that run, I think. But anyway, it was a notable run in the tournament that year.
Yeah.
Should have won it, shouldn't we? Really should have won the
competition. Really, yeah. We've got stitched up at Birmingham, big time. Did
Victor Obinna get sent off that night?
Yeah, Obinna got sent off. And in the second leg, quite early on, a Birmingham player did exactly the same thing. It was just a sort of petulant kick, and a Birmingham player did exactly the same thing, and just got a yellow. And you just thought, well, and we were 1-0 up in the return leg as well.
Yes, we were. Yeah, we cut 3-1 up on
up.
aggregate, I think, weren't we, at the time?
Yeah.
Should have won. Anyway.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can do it this year. Competition, of course, West Ham United have never won, been in the final twice. I don't think even you will remember the first time we were in the final, can you? It was the last year that they played it over 2 legs.
2 legs. We lost. Yeah, we got beaten on aggregate by West Brom.
Yeah. I think we won the first leg 2-1, didn't we?
Football then.
Yeah.
And because I will admit, I would have been, was it 60?
66.
66, yeah. So I was 5. So yeah, the League Cup wasn't quite on my football radar then. I was just beginning to get a little bit more aware of things. But the other one again was don't let a Liverpool supporter ever tell you they get nothing from referees. Yeah. They get handed whole trophies. I think I might have mentioned it on here. The time I actually got to tell Clive Thomas exactly what I thought of him several years later. He was opening the Portugal branch of Woolworths that had been refurbished, and then people were queuing up to get him to sign autographs. And when I got ahead of the queue, I just told him, "I don't want your autograph. I just want to tell you you're a disgrace and an utter disgrace to the world of football." And then my mate who got in the queue 3 people down. When he got to the front, dear old Craggs, he said, "I don't want your autograph either. I just want to tell you I agree with my mate."
Do you know what? The thing is, I can imagine someone like Clive Thomas, though, that was probably water off a duck's back for him. He'd probably heard that so many times before.
When I spoke to him, I think it was because I said it so politely, he looked actually quite shocked.
Yeah.
I think if I turned up and got effing and blind, you can imagine Chaz if he'd been there.
Yes.
Yeah. If I'd gone in like that.
Do you know what? Do you know what? Sorry, but you mentioned him.
Yeah, I was going to mention him anyway.
How much would he be loving this? How much would Chaz be loving this particular game? Absolutely, of anyone, Arsenal, where his ultimate nemesis, hated Arsenal, the football club, he would have been loving this. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? When you think about it, without getting too morose or maudlin, it's quite incredible what's happened since we lost Chaz. Bearing in mind, we've won the European Cup. We got to a semi-final the year before, and he didn't see any of it, which is a real shame. And of course, he would have loved this tonight. He would have been in his element.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the reasons why we're out there. I mean, obviously, supporting West Ham all my life and trophy after all these years. Yeah, it was obviously going to be a tearful moment, but there was tears for things like my dad didn't see it, and he was at the 65 Cup Winners' Cup final, so it was kind of I wore my dad's watch that he left me to the Euro final game, and you saw me after the game. I was surprised I wasn't dehydrated with the amount of tears I sort of shed that night. But it was Dad, it was Chaz, all the people I knew that over the years that no longer with us, and he'd be loving this. I was going to mention that a bit later on, but you beat me to it. But
certainly would have been. Certainly, with no question, he would. In case anyone's wondering who we're talking about, that's Romford, of course, our former colleague on KUMB who sadly passed away. When was it? 2 years now, isn't it?
A couple of years ago now, isn't it? Yeah. I mean,
time flies.
Flies. I mean, Arsenal on the attack at the moment, going down the left, but Kudos has just done some more work there, and he's just blocked the run off. It's going out for a throw, but he's worked his socks off tonight. Kudos. Just to know, one of the early times of meeting Chaz, and didn't know the guy that well. It was the early days of the website where we'd all sort of taken first tentative steps at meeting up and things like that, and we'd had a skinful as usual in the pub. Mine's gone blank. The Wakefield. Yeah. And we were playing Arsenal, and he had Lukey with him. Now Lukey's fine young man these days. Lukey must have been about 7 or 8 at the time, if that. Little kid sort of thing. And we've had a few in the Wakefield, and we go walking up, and we go past the chicken run, and there's some Arsenal supporters sort of milling around course, Chaz won't leave it alone if he sees an Arsenal supporter, will he? And he was having a moan and about how they were always diving and stuff, left, right, and centre. And I'll come back to the story because Stuffel's just been upended, got a free kick out on the right touchline. And so we'll just see how this goes. I'll come back to the story in a minute, but it was...
Yeah, I was just going to say very quickly about Sufo. A minute or two ago, he made a superb challenge to win the ball back.
Yeah.
Having a good night, isn't he, tonight? Doing really well.
Free kick taken short to Bone, who gets that was a cross or a shot. Drifts harmlessly wide of the West Ham, the left-hand post from West Ham point of view. I think it was thinking about a shot, but yeah. So anyway, Chaz was like had two settings, loud and louder, and he was having a go at these Arsenal supporters for the corrupt club they support and everything, and because he's loud, there are a couple of the Met's finest who are milling about, hear him and sort of come across because they think there's something they ought to be getting interested in. So the police come across and they started to tell him to calm down and all that. And then there's Lukey. Lukey's there. That poor old Lukey. He probably won't thank me for saying this, but he's only 6 or 7 he was, but he starts crying because his dad's been told off by the policeman and he thinks he's going to be frog marched off. So I step in with all the diplomatic skills I can muster, and so no, he's all right. He's only having a laugh, sort of thing. Go on, come, mate. Let's go. You'll be late, and I usher him away and smuggle him out of it. And anyway, I go off, and so the next day, anyway, I get an email or a message from him, and so bearing in mind we'd only known each other a few weeks, and he said. He said, I trust your opinion, mate. Do you think I was out of order yesterday with those Arsenal guys? So I'm thinking, well, I don't know him that well, but I think he was a little bit with his kid there. So I sort of phrased it as diplomatically as I could and said, I thought you went in a little bit strong with, I mean, otherwise, normally no problem, but when you got Lukey there with you, I mean, you might have sort of toned it down a little bit. And so I said, anyway, I pressed send and thought, what's going to happen here? And the message I got back was, he said something like, "It's all right, mate. You can tell me straight." So,
the much missed Chaz.
Much missed.
I
hope you're watching that, mate.
It's our Arsenal hater. Thoroughly.
Yeah.
We've been talking about Chaz because there's nothing really happened in the game.
Yeah.
We're now into the final quarter of an hour. West Ham still leading 3-0. Goals coming from Ben White own goal in the first half, Mo Kudus and Jared Bowen scoring inside the opening 15 minutes of the second half, which makes a nice change that we're not conceding any during that period. And West Ham looking really comfortable at the moment and should cruise at this point. Should cruise at this point into the quarterfinals, but we shall see.
Arsenal tried to play Saka in just there, and this has been sort of typical, particularly of their second half. Tries to play a 1-2. The return ball just gets chipped over the top and goes running out harmlessly for a goal kick. And they've got Arsenal supporters smiling. They'll no doubt be telling us tomorrow that it's not a proper cup or something. Sort of. To which we'll say, like the Charity Shield. And
I should just point out that that David O'Rourke has just posted to say that Arsenal fans TV is full of excuses of humans. I don't know if that's just tonight or generally, but he's gone over for a little gloat as David and they're a happy looking bunch, aren't they? I bet they can't wait to vent when they get outside the stadium.
Are you going to do an opposition view for this if it stays like this?
What do you reckon? It's been a while because we generally only do them when West Ham draw or win. There's not much point if we've lost because we can't gloat. But, I think we might do a special extended run tomorrow on that one. I'm sure there'll be plenty of content we can glean from our fans from North or formerly South London. But anyway, it's less than 13 minutes to go now. It's still West Ham United 3, Arsenal 0. Declan Rice, he's on the pitch. You probably wouldn't know that because we've barely seen him. We've barely seen him touch the ball, let alone discuss anything he's really done so far. So Yeah, good stuff from West Ham. Played really, really well tonight so far.
I tell you what's impressed me, and yeah, I mentioned Kudos, but it's not just Kudos has been doing that. It's Arsenal, obviously, as you'd imagine, they're obviously chasing a game now as well. So they've got a hell of a lot of possession, but the West Ham are keeping the shape very well. And then you see, like, whenever they sort of dither and dally on the ball a little bit, Arsenal, you see Kudos is in there, sort of coming out. You see
Yeah, he's had a
Bowen
good
coming
game.
back, and
Yeah,
I mean, Kudos has been the better of it, but
yeah.
Bowen's done that as well. Sorry, Alvarez is running around a little bit headless chicken mode at the moment. He's left a couple of feet in there.
No, no. There is, of course, a question that arises from what you were just saying there. We've spoken about the fact that we're away to Brentford on Saturday. Is there a possibility we might see Jared Bowen up front for that one instead of Mickey Antonio, based on what we've seen tonight?
Sorry, the ball's bobbling around our penalty area. Arsenal have actually had a shot, or one and a half shots, both been blocked, and we've won the ball back. And Bowen again comes back a few yards, gets a foot in. It's just run out of play, but it wasn't meant to be a pass. It was meant to be a disruptor, sort of little foot in. Arsenal now making another substitution, by the way. Where we got Odegaard is coming on, and Nketiah is coming off. So well, I think we've got 10 minutes plus whatever they had on for stoppage to go.
Yeah.
10 and a half minutes plus stoppage. So it's I think they've got to throw the kitchen sink. I think they'll get to a point if it's still 3-0 that the motions will start being gone through. I think they'll go on, but not just yet. So and West Ham, to say that the work that lot have put in today it's been warms the cockles of the heart, as they say.
Yeah, it does.
As Arsenal give it away to Paquetá or Alvarez or other. Sorry, that's a lovely ball in through the middle to Emerson, who's going down the middle, plays the ball to Kudos. Kudos has got Soufal outside him, cuts in. Kudos shoots, and it's not that far wide. Did that get a little tap on the way through? Let's have a look. Great break. The ball through to Emerson was superb. Yes, corner. Corner there. Good effort. I mean, Arsenal have had all that possession, but they've been so ponderous in it. West Ham substitution now, and Ben Rama's coming off, and he'll be replaced by Ward-Prowse. So Ward-Prowse getting his last-minute instruction. Pinky won't like this, but Ben Rama, I mean, he's not pulled up any trees, as the phrase goes, but he has worked hard. He's done a couple of those running backs as well, to put a foot in and disrupt the flow. But Arsenal, all the possession, they've looked ponderous in it. A bit of debate as to whether or not Ward-Prowse is going to go straight on and take the corner, but he's not. Bowen's going to take it. Bowen slings the corner across. Oh, gets a flick again from an Arsenal player, goes all the way outside to the other corner. Paquetá is actually on the corner flag now. Oh, well, it doesn't quite come off, but he does a little sort of donkey flick. I don't know how you'd describe that. Sort of putting it behind him and flicking it over his head. I mean, it doesn't work. The Arsenal player deals with it well, but you don't mind seeing that with 81 minutes gone and 3-0 up in the Arsenal corner. You really don't mind seeing that.
I'll tell you what was interesting, actually. I don't know if you saw it at that corner, but Declan Rice and Tommy Soucek were involved in a grappling match right in front of the goalkeeper there. Declan Rice clearly aware of what Tommy Soucek's about in those areas. And he wasn't. Declan Rice had his back to the corner taker and was pushing him, pulling him backwards and forwards. Quite
Rice
bizarre.
Just tried to flick a ball into the box and nobody's read it, and it's just gone sailing harmlessly through to Fabianski as we see the Arsenal end emptying. And yeah, little kid giving it the large one. He looks about 10. Kudos on the ball, right hand side. Goes past his defender. Just runs into a little bit of traffic for once, but from a promising position. And ball's back to Ramsdale and clears long.
I'm going to bring you some updates from elsewhere because we've seen a few goals flying in the other games in the Carabao Cup. So it looks like West Ham are going to be one of the final 8 in the competition. Oh, look, there's some Arsenal fans going home early.
Yeah.
But there'll be a fair few of those. Another goal at Stamford Bridge since we last brought you an update. Raheem Sterling has added a second for Chelsea on 59 minutes. So they're looking comfortable against Championship Blackburn Rovers at the moment. Goal down on the South Coast. Justin Kluivert has equalised for Bournemouth against Liverpool. No, he hasn't, because Liverpool have just taken the lead again. As I'm telling you about that, Darwin Núñez has just flashed up on the screen that Darwin Núñez has added a second for Liverpool to put them back in front in the 70th minute. So it's now Bournemouth 1, Liverpool 2. Everton were 1-0 up against Burnley last time we brought you the latest from there. Amadou Onana, West Ham target, another one, scored a second for Everton to make it 2-0 to add to the one scored by Tarkowski, another West Ham target of yestermonth, scoring in the first half. So Everton looking comfortable against Burnley. Ipswich against Fulham. Fulham have scored a second. Rodrigo Muniz has added a second for the Premier League team 5 minutes into the second half. So it's looking like a comfortable afternoon for the Southwest Londoners. It's still 2-0 to Newcastle at Manchester United. It's half-time there. They're obviously, that's the late kickoff. So that's bringing you up to date from the scores around the Carabao Cup tonight. No. We've got, what have we got? Just over 5 minutes left here at the London Olympic Stadium. West Ham in cruise control. Surely we can't lose it from now, though. Surely.
Shush.
Is it still too early? 5 minutes. I mean, even that's pushing it for West Ham, but you never know. You're right. You never know. Time to start thinking about man of the match, maybe? Sorry, go on.
Arsenal's still pushing forward. Rice. Yeah. Poor old Declan. Not only has he got to play for that lot, he's got to wear that shirt and all.
Yeah, he's not had a good night, has he, tonight? Which is a terrible shame.
He's on the ball now. Sorry, what were you saying? You just said something there.
I can't remember now. I was just trying to think, and I was thinking about Declan Rice, and it's gone. Anyway, doesn't matter if it was that important. I would have remembered. Quick look at the match stats as we approach the final few minutes. Possession: West Ham 30% to Arsenal's 70. West Ham 5 shots, 3 of which have been on target. Arsenal have had 11 shots, only 1 of which has been on target. Not good in front of goal tonight. The Gunners, which is great for us. West Ham 4 corners to Arsenal's 5. Both teams having committed 11 fouls so far. That's where we are with just about 4.5 minutes left of this match. Hammers in full control right now.
Yeah, as I say, I mean, the patterns. Well, I played a long ball in the box now. Saka's on it, plays the ball square, but Emerson does really well. Gets across and clears it out for a corner. That's the first time for a good 35 minutes that Arsenal have looked particularly dangerous. Saka got the wrong side and had a bit of space in the box. So just need to be a little bit careful. But anyway, corner to Arsenal on their left. It's looping into the 6-yard box. Headed clear to the edge of the box. Saka plays it back. Odegaard plays it out wide to whoever took the corner. Soufal shepherding. Difficult to pick out anybody. I'd say Souf. Every time you look, I think, oh, he's had a good game.
Yeah, but that's actually reminded me of what I was going to ask you. The question was, it's probably about time we started thinking about man of the match. But let's hold out. Let's keep our let's hold that thought until the final minute, until the end of the game, because we're so close now. So we'll come back to that.
Odegaard's just had a shot. It swerved a little bit in the air. Fabianski made the save and didn't catch it, but because there's nobody following up, he just stood over it and let the ball sort of roll around for a few seconds to wind the clock down. 2 3/4 minutes to go. I think might be looking at Kehrer coming on. Ward-Prowse plays the ball out wide towards Kudos, who brings the ball under control. He doesn't take his man on this time, plays the ball back into Ward-Prowse again. Kudos again out on the right wing. A nice little bit of play there. Just the one thing wrong with it was the pass to Ward Prowse as the middle one of a triangle. There was Ward Prowse was just offside. Kudos is now leaving the field, and I bet looking at it, there's everybody stood up and rightly so. He's had a fine game today, and not necessarily not just for the goal and a fantastic goal, brilliantly taken, but his all-round performance today has been brilliant. So he's gone off the other side. He's going behind the goal there, and he's returning the applause, which I suspect if I had the volume turn up would be considerable. So a minute and a half left plus stoppage. Let's see if Hooper. There hasn't been much in the way of stoppage. I think there's a couple of seconds. There's been a substitution and a couple of seconds while he sorted out Bowen's bloody eye. But we've not had the physios on, have we? I can't remember.
No, I think you're right. I think it's been very, very few stoppages in the second half of what I've seen of it anyway.
So I'd say 2 or 3,
especially with 3-0.
Yeah,
minute or two.
Yeah, I'd say 3 for the subs. So they're adding a bit longer these days. We're in the last minute anyway of normal, as has been the case for much of this since the third goal went in. Arsenal sort of lining up on the edge of the area, trying to play some intricate stuff, and it's just not happening for them at all. But Bowen comes away with the ball now.
No?
Sorry?
Can we relax yet?
I'll tell you when you can relax.
I thought you were just going to say, let's wait and see how many minutes they add on.
Yeah.
I mean, West Ham are there, aren't they, in the quarterfinals now, looking really good.
Steve just cops a painful one, which he's wincing a little bit. I don't think we're now in stoppage time and looking 5 minutes. Well, you can see 5 minutes stoppage worth there. I think that's a little bit generous to Arsenal. Even with the subs, I don't think we've had 5 minutes of non-play.
It seems a bit unnecessary given the fact that the game's completely one-sided in terms of the score anyway.
The worst one for that was when we played Macclesfield and the ref basically added on no stoppage time at all.
Was that the 8-0?
Yeah, and I was fuming. I'm still livid about that because, as I keep telling people, in the years I've been watching West Ham, I've seen us score 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 10. 9 is the only score I haven't seen us get, and I thought we were on for it that night against Macclesfield. And
I'm trying to think from the top. That would be Bury, Macclesfield, Newcastle,
Macclesfield, Newcastle, and Sunderland.
Sunderland, 68.
Yeah, it was about the second game I ever went to.
Jeff Hurst punched the first one in, of course.
Yeah, and got another 5 legitimate ones.
Yeah, 5 more after. Yeah.
I mean, it was like who's who sort of West Ham scoring there. Hurst 6, Brookingham Moore. I mean, Moore didn't score many, did he?
Do you know? I remember us conceding 6 at Sunderland. I think it was the relegation year, 77, 78.
Yeah.
I was very small. I was at a birthday party, and the teleprinter results came along, and I ended up crying under the table.
Yeah, I remember because
West Ham had been hammered 6-0
for that one. When it was on the Sunday when it came on, and Brooking did something that was particularly good, and Hugh Johns was saying, what a man this player Brooking is. I wonder how good he'd be in a really good side. So I've hated Hugh Johns ever since then. But
Hugh Johns, there's a blast from the past.
7 was when I was a kid as well. We stuck 7 past. I think I saw a couple of 7s. I think Bolton in a League Cup match this time. I think we did them 7-2 when I was a kid. 6, we've done a few.
Leeds? Was it Leeds?
Definitely Leicester. Leicester at about 75, I think we did 6-2. But I've seen 5, loads of 5s. So 5s are plenty.
Only
Um,
one away though. I think that was the Derby one, wasn't it? Oh no, Chelsea actually 65.
yeah,
Chelsea 5, West Ham 5. That was away as well, of
yeah,
course.
5-5, wasn't it? And
Yeah,
I didn't
Brian
go to
Deere
that
was
one, but yeah.
no,
No,
no.
the ones I've seen. Yeah, I remember seeing West Ham, Leicester. The year we won the cup, we started terribly, and then we had this run where we were scoring goals, sixes and fives and fours for, sort of around October time, and sorry, Arsenal was still trying to work something at the edge of the box. We're 3 minutes into stoppage time. Now Arsenal have just bought a free kick on the edge of the box here. Vieira's gone down. Now he's actually played the ball and kind of run into the back of. That's not a free kick. You'd be laughed at if you try and play like, get a free kick for that on a Sunday morning. But I guess Hooper's feeling a little bit sorry for him.
Do you know what? No, something I've just noticed. I don't know if you picked up on this. You noticed how many Arsenal players look alike. I've just had a quick look.
Yeah,
There's a very congested area outside their box. It's 4 or 5 people. Any one of them could have been apart from the obvious Saka and one or two others, Ben White, but they all look very similar.
yeah, they've got a cloning factor, haven't they?
Yeah, very much so. Anyway, we're nearly there. Last minute.
We're in the last minute. It's Odegaard is over the free kick. I'm not sure it is, but we got one of those draft excluders behind the wall. Arsenal got a wall. It's a shot. It's gone into our wall. Ward-Prowse basically hoofs it long. Arsenal try and play it long back in. Saka's on the ball out there, but he's got close attention. Nice ball in from Odegaard, but again, that's I think it was Agard spotted the run, and 20 seconds left according to the clock on the wall.
Come on, West Ham.
Yeah, so
Dexter Fletcher, in reference to that comment about the duplicate Arsenal player, says it's the haircuts, same barbers, says Alps. Wouldn't be surprised. But
well,
yeah, it's uncanny that.
this thing, didn't they? It was whether or not they were going to wear long or short sleeves. Oh, hang on, they're in here, and they pulled one back. That's a shame. Odegaard has done it, and he's done it with 94 minutes 59 seconds on the clock, I think. Let's have a look. It's nice move actually. Finds himself, shoots from the angle of the 6-yard box. Little more than consolation now.
It kind of makes you wonder now, sort of looking at this team, if it might have been a different story and Arsenal began with this 11 rather than left it to the end.
There's the final whistle. We can relax now. Then I'll let you relax. 3-1 to West Ham. Cheer up, David. Moyes isn't looking back over the moon. Great. Absolutely. I mean, I know me and you and Louise all said we'd win. Okay, we got the score wrong, but we're only one goal out. But it was more in hope than expectation. I thought, considering how badly I thought we played on Sunday. So funny old game, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But as I said an hour or so ago, I mean, those of us are a bit long in the tooth in terms of watching West Ham. Won't be surprised at all to see West Ham pull a result like this, out on the back of 3 consecutive deeply disappointing defeats. It really is no surprise. And I was going to ask you a few minutes ago, Noam, about the man of the match. Any thoughts on that one? Because it's a tough call tonight. There's quite a few.
I thought not
candidates.
Not that it runs like this anymore, but I thought really from 1 to 11, plus the substitutes, everybody played well. You couldn't fault anyone, but I think just a shade ahead and a little bit over everybody's head was Kudos. And the goal was kind of the icing on the cake. And I know we bought him for that sort of thing, really, but the work he went through. Moyes is smiling now. There's a bit of a smile now. Kudos. Just really, really, I thought was superb. He, he scored the goal. He was popping up in defence. He was running back. He was winning the ball, turning defence into attack. And as is their once, Sky have actually switched straight from the team coming off to the Man United Newcastle game.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
and I'm watching somebody called Hannibal do his nut. We're 5 minutes into the second half of that one, and Newcastle still turn that up. So, so I don't think I'll be able to bring you any interviews because they've gone to this one. So, but yeah, kudos for me, man, the match.
Yeah, I'm going to go for something different. I mean, I thought kudos was my streams just switched over as well. Kudos was excellent tonight. I thought his best game in a West Ham shirt, but I'm going to give my man of the match award to Vladdy Soufal tonight because he's a bit of an unsung hero for me.
Yeah.
And he's had a very, since he had that injury, he's had a troubled time. I think over the summer we've seen him get back to his very best, and he's been excellent. Really, really superb player for us this season. As I said earlier on in the stream, 4 assists, involved in one of the goals again tonight. So for me, I'm going to give it to Vladdy, just edging it over Mo, who had a brilliant night. But as we said, there's 11, 12 candidates out there tonight, possibly. Some really, really strong performances. Bowen did really, really well, spearheading the attack. Ben Rama, I thought had a really good game until he was taken off. He was getting involved. Paquetá was back to somewhere near his best again tonight. There was one outrageous, audacious piece of skill down on the left touchline where he did the back flick, where he flicked the ball up over his head. Didn't beat the player,
it didn't work actually, but as I said at the time, you don't mind him doing that when it's 81 minutes gone, you're 3-1 up, and you're down in the Arsenal corner. Yeah.
Alvarez, I thought, had a really strong game. Didn't really put a foot wrong. Marshall, Declan Rice really well when he came on. Tommy Souček, solid again, not spectacular, but that's Tommy Souček for you. So some good performances all round. I thought centre halves didn't really, Mavropanos up until the Arsenal goal, which I felt he could have done a lot better for. Right at the end there, but I'm not going to criticise him too much for that because it didn't really matter. But both he and Knife did a really good job. So yeah, some really, really strong performances out there, and it's just I'm just glad that we're not going into Saturday's game on the back of 4 consecutive defeats because that would have been a tough one. Obviously, it's not league points, but morale is boosted. The pressure's off to some degree, and we can look forward, I think, now to that game with a bit more anticipation. And hopefully we can go there and get some points. It's going to be a tough game, of course, especially without Paquetá and Alvarez. But why not? And that's a really, really good win tonight. And when did we say the draw was? No, it's
when this one finishes. It's as soon as this game finishes. They're saying 10:15. We'll see. But
right, I was just wondering whether we had time to stay online, but it's a long way off, so we'll swerve that one for now. I don't think even we can talk about how majestic West Ham were tonight for another 45 minutes. So that'd be nice, to be fair. But no, we're going to call it a day there, actually, because we've got lots of content to add to the site. Sum up what you've seen tonight for me, if you will.
Pleasantly surprised. I thought it's the same thing that we've said it time and time. You and I are old enough to know this, that when West Ham have played rubbish against a poor side, and then they've got a big side, one of the bigger sides, one day later, never right herself. Second half particularly as well. We were okay in the first half, don't get me wrong, but I think the stat about being 1-0 up and we hadn't had a shot was quite telling. But the second half, I thought it was a masterpiece of counter-attacking football. Really, it was just perfect. They had all that ball and all that. How many saves did Fabianski have to make? I'm struggling to think of one in the second half. And when we got the ball and we did break, we broke with speed, with purpose, with intent, and we got the 2 goals that deserved. So well played. Very, very happy.
Yep, good stuff. Got nothing to add to that. Really, perfectly surmised. A fantastic night for West Ham United. Ben White scoring the opening goal for the Hammers after 15 minutes.
I'm still laughing.
Yeah, great finish. Lead doubled 5 minutes into the second half by Mo Kudus. Fantastic pass from Naif Agurd from the halfway line across to the other side to Mo, who took it down on his right foot and fired with his left into the far bottom corner, giving Ramsdale no chance. Jarrod Bowen added the third on the hour mark with probably a bit of a deflection on it. Not quite sure. It doesn't matter. It ended up in the back of the net. And, of course, a consolation goal. We didn't quite manage to keep a second clean sheet of the season, which I know Craven is absolutely gutted about. But there you go. We'll take we'll take the point. We won't take the points because there wasn't any points. We'll take the win and passage through to the next round. Odegaard scoring in the seventh added on minute at the end of the game. But it was far too little and far too late for Arsenal, who succumbed to a 3-1 defeat and are out of the cup at the hands of the mighty Hammers, who march on to the last 8 and the quarterfinals, the draw of which comes later on this evening. We'll be bringing you all the news from the draw a little bit later on KUMB. So make sure you keep build stick on all coming over all Shaw Taylor there. Stick with KUMB for the rest of the evening.
Another one for the kids. Yeah. This is really turning into something that, unless you're about 50 years old, you're going to struggle with most of the cultural references, aren't you?
Eaten peeled. Anyway, yeah, great night for West Ham. Enough said. That's me and Noam over and out. We'll see you again at the weekend for Brentford versus West Ham. As the Hammers look to continue the excellent performance tonight with a similar effort at Brentford. So until then, my friends, take care. Thank you to Noam for his excellent commentary tonight and companionship. Also to everybody on the live stream, thank you as always for your comments. Your thumbs up. If you haven't done it, you've got a few seconds to do it very quickly. Thank you all for your comments and contributions to this evening's match. As I said, we'll see you all again very soon. Until then, my friends, take care. And as always, come on, you Irons.
No.